All right, y'all know what time it is. We should be good to go. Let me double check and make sure that we are all set. Welcome, y'all. Welcome back to another show. We're looking all crispy and clean on the screen. You know what to do. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. And welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the ClassE Morning Show. I'm your host, ClassE, of patreon.com/ClassEbeats. By the way, make sure you check it out. The link is in the description as well as in the pinned comment in the chat. Welcome to the show, you guys, and happy Friday. It's good to see everybody in here. Got a lot to talk about today. We got some updates when it comes to Karen Reed. I know, thought we were done. We're not. We're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe, what's going on with his civil trial. We covered here on the channel. We're going to talk about Kanye West, what he's got going on. And then, of course, you know, it wouldn't be a day if we didn't get some updates on what's going on with Diddy. So make sure, again, you guys stick around for the show. But before we get into it, I've got to say what's up to the people, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Always good to see y'all. We've got my awesome, amazing Amy is in here. We've got Les Cleaver's in the building. Slim Life New Jersey is back at it. Mr. Brown's up in here. A Fitz, good to see you as well. We've got Valencia's back at it. It's been a minute, Valencia. What's up? CPE is in here. What up, man? Good to see you. We got Bonnie Finley. We've got Steph and Callie enjoying this amazing weather. Libby22SC girl is in here. Paul Eyes is in the building. We've got Brock in here as well. I will be saying hello and good morning to you guys as we go throughout the show. But if you could, please, I don't ask for much on this show, but I do ask you guys one favor, and that's to make sure you like the video. It's free. It helps the channel to continue to grow and lets the algorithm know you guys are enjoying the show, and it shares this video, this live stream, and all the other videos and live streams we've done, and this channel with more people. So if y'all could, make sure you like the video. Shout out to all 600 plus of you that like the video so far. Dang. Melody C is in here as well. Good morning. Good to see y'all. And we're going to go ahead and get into it. All right. Let me make sure I share this out. If you guys are feeling extra generous, you can share the video as well. All right. There's a little button on this video to where you can go and you can share this with your group chat. You can share it on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and let people know we're here as well. So if you're feeling extra generous, you can do that, and I appreciate it. I will also be reading super chats as we go throughout the show. So shout out to everyone who's sending in the super chats. Let me shout y'all out and say thank you. First up, we've got my guy Les Cleaver in the building with the 5-bomb. He says, TGIF, the Lord believes in you and loves you very much. I agree. Aww. Love one another as he loves you. Amen. God bless you all. Thank you to Les Cleaver for this first super chat of the day, and always showing love. One of the hardest working guys in here. I know he's happy it's Friday. Shout out to Les Cleaver in the building. We've got Slim Life New Jersey in here with the 5-bomb as well. Says, good morning, ClassE, Amy, and my amazing CEB family. Remember, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Amen. Thank God for God. Make someone smile today, but don't forget you're someone too. Shout out to Slim Life. Aww. And then we got Kara Hampton in here as always with the 5-bomb. Says, good morning all. Hope everyone has a great week and a great start to the weekend. Have a great day on purpose, guys. You can do it. And thanks for all you do, ClassE. Thank you, Kara, for always being here and supporting. Good to see everyone in the building as well. All right, Brock is in here too. What's up, Brock? Good to see you in here, man. We're going to go ahead and get into the show. I know we've got a lot to get to today, a lot to talk about. So make sure you guys stay locked in. Again, if you haven't yet, please make sure that you like the video. All right, likes are free, guys, and it really does help us out a lot. Let's go ahead and get into our first topic. You guys are going to love this one. Oh, man, because we've talked about what's been going on with this Karen Reed case, and now we're actually receiving more details, more intricate details about how much was paid to some of the prosecutors, how much was paid. As we know how much they paid Aperture, right? I mean, that was probably, they way overpaid, especially comparing and seeing how much the defense paid to get their own experts in there. Anyway, we're going to talk about how much was actually spent on this Karen Reed trial and what specifically some of the prosecutors and Hank Brennan specifically got paid during this trial. It's insane, guys. Check this out.
25 Investigates has been working to learn how much the Karen Reed murder Retrial cost taxpayers, and late this afternoon we received new records from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. Investigative reporter Ted Daniel joins us now. And Ted, these have to do with Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan.
Mark, the DA's office hired Hank Brennan to prosecute this case after the first trial ended in a hung jury. We have the contract here.
Wow.
Brennan was paid $250 an hour, and with all the lawyering in this case from both sides, that added up quickly. The documents we received cover 7 date ranges from September of last year through the day the verdict came down last month.
Jeez.
Brennan's law firm submitted more than 2,200 hours. The price tag, more than $500,000.
Oh my goodness, $500,000. Hold on, guys. Let's look at this breakdown. Yo, Hank was making the bag. Shout out to Hank. He's out here getting the bat. Look at this breakdown. All right, so we had, here's the amount. At $250 an hour, we had 283 hours here, $70,000. Sheesh. 200 hours here for the month of November. 50,000. He made $50,000 in November. And December, 52. What was this going through? 10 days, he made $30,000, 100 hours, 114 hours, 28,000, 120. Wait, hold on. 653 hours from from January 26th through March 31st. Oh my goodness, $163,000. So obviously we know, guys, he was in court. So this was when the court proceedings were taking place. Almost 3 times the amount since September. They started the hearings and everything. Wow.
Received covers 7 date ranges from September of last year through the day the verdict came down last month. Brennan's law firm submitted more than 2,200 hours. The price tag, more than $500,000. $566,000 is the total. Those hours covered meetings, discovery, phone conferences, trial and witness prep, and of course, all the hours of the trial and jury deliberations. So Brennan's bill exceeds the yearly salary of Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey. State payroll records show he earned $205,000 in 2024.
Yeah, that's crazy.
DA Morrissey has yet to publicly reveal why he brought in someone from the outside instead of using one of his assistant DAs. We'll continue to add all the costs from the retrial as the numbers come in. For 25 Investigates, I'm Ted Daniel.
Yeah, so think about that for a second, because I was questioning from the beginning, why did they retry this? Not only why did they retry it, but why did Hank Brennan and his law firm decide to take this on? Well, now we see maybe a little bit of a reason why. Yo, this man was getting paid. Let me rewind this. Look how much he got for this in 1 month. $163,000. Sheesh. That is amazing. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. 10 months, he made $500,000. Would y'all be down for that? Would y'all have taken this? Would y'all have been a prosecutor on this case for $500,000? I mean, hey, some of you might.
Team, the cost of the Karen Reed retrial is staggering. The NBC 10i team obtained documents outlining one major expense.
Yeah, Reed was ultimately cleared of all the charges in her Boston police officer boyfriend's death, except OUI. Both trials easily cost the Commonwealth way over $1 million. Just the special prosecutor in the retrial cost taxpayers more than $500,000. Tonight, team's Mike Cirillo live in the studio with reaction from taxpayers.
And we heard how much Aperture cost. Nearly that much, right? It nearly costs the Commonwealth that much just to hire Aperture. And then they spent this much on Hank. Woo!
And Patrice, we knew this retrial would be expensive, and these documents prove it. $566,000, all taxpayer money for Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan. That amount is still shocking tonight for some taxpayers I spoke with, and it's just one expense of the second trial.
I bet they're pissed.
More than $500,000 for Hank Brennan.
Wow, that's crazy.
Do you think this was a good use of funds?
I do not feel like it was a good use of funds,
that's crazy.
But there is a right for due process.
Massachusetts taxpayers taking a $500,000 hit in Karen Reed's retrial. Records obtained by the NBC10 I-Team show Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan billed the Commonwealth $566,000. That's for more than 2,000 hours of work at a rate of $250 an hour.
No doubt it was a lot of work that Mr. Brennan had to do, but there were also prosecutors within the state of Massachusetts that likely could have done the same job that he did.
NBC10 legal analyst Austin Dana says there are a number of reasons the Commonwealth likely opted to bring in a special prosecutor, among them allegations of corruption and the sheer number of eyeballs on the retrial.
So you want that?
But that's crazy, though, because Michael Morrissey is one of the people that the eyeballs are on. Morrissey is one of the people they're saying is corrupt. So they're bringing in someone from the outside who was hired by the guy they're saying is corrupt. That doesn't make sense.
That due process, you want her to have a fair trial, but at the same time, to what end? To the cost of $566,000? I don't know, maybe not.
Ultimately, Reed was cleared of the most serious charges, but before the case went to the jury,
you see more than one hole in the back of his sweatshirt.
Brennan owned up to what could have been a more costly mistake, potentially leading to a mistrial. Showing a hoodie to jurors without first clarifying holes in it had been cut during the investigation. Do you think there may have been better ways to spend?
Oh, I've got a sound effect for that too.
It appears that I made a mistake.
We remember when that happened, right, guys?
Holes in it had been cut during the investigation. Do you think there may have been better ways to spend that kind of taxpayer money?
Yes, for sure. There are lots of things that we could have done. We have roads, we need school programs. I have a disability, my niece has a disability. You know how hard it is for folks to get special education or do anything like that?
$500,000 could probably help.
Likely isn't the only bill we'll see. Taxpayers should also be on the hook for expert witnesses brought in by the Commonwealth. Of course, as we get more numbers, we'll bring them to you. But for now, live in the studio, Mike.
Yep, remember, as I mentioned, Aperture cost them nearly the same amount, which is insane. Which is absolutely insane. But the defense hired ACA, which did a wildly better job than Aperture did, and they paid them less than $100,000. Let's see what they have to say over at News 25. Payroll records reveal how much Karen Reed's retrial costs Denham Police Department. The high-profile murder trial of Karen Reed cost the Denham Police Department tens of thousands of dollars as informed officers worked to maintain public safety for large crowds of people who gathered day after day outside of Norfolk Superior Court. On Wednesday, Boston 25 obtained payroll data in response to the public records request that showed exactly how much Denham police paid in overtime for more than 170 shifts. Work by police officers and sergeants assigned to the courthouse crowd control from the start of jury selection on April 1st through the moment the verdict was announced on June 18th. What a mess. On many days during Karen Reed's retrial, up to 5 members of the department were assigned to the courthouse, working shifts that lasted up to 9 hours, in some cases across the areas of Ames, High Court, Church, and Bullard Streets, the records show. On the day Karen Reed was acquitted of murder and manslaughter in the death of John O'Keefe, her Boston police officer boyfriend, 10 officers working shifts of varying lengths were on hand to facilitate the safety of hundreds of anxious supporters who flocked to the courthouse to learn Reed's fate. When the verdict was ultimately announced, officers maintained peace as conflict fell, and people dressed in pink erupt into cheers chanting "Free Karen Reed." In total, Denham police racked up $92,937.77 in overtime pay for 1,253 hours worked by law enforcement, the records show. At least 4 officers were paid an overtime rate of at least $95 an hour, while no officer earned a rate less than $46 an hour. Get your money, man. Reed's highly publicized case drew national attention. Prosecutors alleged that Reed hit O'Keefe. Okay, we know all about that, but man, Denham County, y'all should be outraged. The Commonwealth was out there going crazy. I see. Y'all have to let me know what you think about this in the comments and in the chat. I have one more thing I want to get to that's somewhat related, and I see a lot of y'all have been talking about it as well. We got to talk about the Commissioner Michael Cox. Michael Cox here completely throws someone else during this Karen Reed trial under the bus, which is absolutely wild to see. Shout out to David for posting this in this absolutely hilarious statement where he's talking about Officer Dever and that he didn't even know that she was on the Karen Reed case. Check this out. We have David says Boston Police Commissioner Michael Cox denies accusations made by the defense that during the Karen Reed's trial that he pressured one of his officers to change her testimony. Officer Kelly Dever, who used to work for Canton PD, said she had a false memory about seeing someone near Reed's SUV. Check this out.
Your name came up during the recent Karen Reed trial. You got a visit from Officer Kelly Dever. The defense implied that you influenced.
Do
her
the right
testimony.
thing, he said.
You want to respond to that?
I have nothing to do with. I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. Matter of fact, I didn't even know this person was associated with the Karen Reed case. You know, I have an organization full of over 3,000 people.
Interesting.
We support all our folks, and the reality is that I get information passed on, whether people are high or low, and I encourage everyone, right? And if you're going to work here and you belong here, then we're going to encourage you. I have no idea what they're talking about with Karen Reed. It had nothing to do with Karen Reed. No discussion about
Did you
Karen.
tell Officer
y'all
Dever
believe him?
to do the right thing?
I didn't know she was even associated with that case. So, I don't know. I was struck like, what do I have to do with the Karen Reed case? I never have said those words together.
Now, Michael, come on, Michael. Commissioner Cox, come on, man. We just went through and we laid out the police presence that was there. We went through and laid out how much that Hank Brennan was getting paid. We talked about how much you guys pay Aperture. And you're going to tell me you had no idea that Officer Kelly Dever, who you allegedly met with, was not involved in this case? Bro, come on. Are you serious?
And so the fact is, it's much to do about nothing. We have employees here that we have to develop and encourage and do things, and I do that for tons of our employees.
Do you feel that you were inappropriately drawn into this as some sort of boogeyman?
That case is over, and we've got a lot of other stuff to talk about. I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. I was in the state of Michigan.
Thank you.
All right, so he said he was in the state of Michigan. What does Aiden have to say about this? Shout out to Turtle Boy. He says Commissioner Cox denies ever speaking with Kelly Dever about the Karen Reed trial. Who's lying, him or her? Did she just have another false memory about the commissioner calling her up to his office, telling her to do the right thing and reminding her that she wasn't working at the time? She didn't see what she thought she saw. He says, I believe him. Dang. Nasty work out there. I tell y'all this all the time. Stay on this side of the law. You don't want to be over there with them. You don't want to have to deal with these people. It's tough out here. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments in the chat. Who's lying? And should Hank Brennan pay for our therapy after we had to watch this entire trial? He's got the money. Let me know what y'all think. Shout out to the gang, man. Y'all are amazing. We've got 800 of you in the building, and almost all of you have liked the video. Can y'all please like the video? Likes are free, guys. Insane. What do you guys think about Hank getting paid $500,000? Lord. So the meeting is a false memory? Apparently. Or she lied. I mean, she wasn't on the original team, but she was a witness since very early on. Hank won. Yo, Hank is out there chilling at Dunkin' Donuts. How can you be the commissioner and not know who Karen Reed was? False memory? Yeah, he said, I didn't know Dever was on this case. I didn't know she was going to be called on as a witness. Okay. So you mean to tell me that you don't know what your officers have going on? And he just met with her for fun, I guess. I don't know. No, you don't, because it's all shady. Hank won. And don't put Michigan in it. Yeah, leave them alone, man. As a taxpayer, that's BS. What's in the water out there? Because memory problems, apparently. They just drank a lot. That's what it is. I mean, we all know. We saw the amount of alcohol that was being consumed during this trial. It's bad. It was bad out here. So many people getting thrown under buses. They're in great. Oh, I see what you're saying, CPE. Yeah, there's a lot of people getting thrown under the bus out there. That would be crazy for her to say that knowing Cox would see it and know she lied on him. Maybe she would turn. Oh man, what if she goes back to the FBI? What if she goes to the FBI? Oh my goodness. Buses must be super busy there. Yeah, because they're driving them all over each other. But then again, she's a liar, so there's that. No, she misremembered. Will y'all give Dever a break? The FBI told her it's okay if you have a false memory. It happens. You know, we make up things. We were at places we weren't really at. And it happens, right? Fire the whole state at this point. They just need to hit the reset button on the Commonwealth. Hey, I wouldn't be mad. Don't drink the water. Everybody knows that. So go blue. Just not rooting for his own people in blue. Oh, man. Could this be why she was moved? Well, I don't know what's going on with Dever yet. We're still waiting to hear some updates from her and where she's at, why she took a leave. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, the commissioner, his legal counsel, attend her FBI interview. Oh boy. Yeah, this is all looking kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That's the wrong one. Is this? We're not ready for this yet. All right, let me double check and make sure we're good to go here. And we'll get to our next topic. Did he just admit that they're not looking for the real killer? Well, that's a great point. Because we heard Hank's statement. Hank made a statement after this trial, and he basically said, hey, guys, we tried to get her, and it didn't work out. The jury didn't see it that way. I'm going to hit Dunkin' Donuts and head up out of here. So, I don't know. I don't know if they care to look, because it seems like they all were convinced it was Karen Reed and she just got off. She beat the system. That's what they're saying. And a lot of people are still saying that too. He said the case is closed or over. He did say that. He said the case is over. So we're moving on. I got more stuff to worry about. I got another meeting later on. So it's just Karen Reed off the rip. They never looked into anyone else. They didn't, guys. They had ring footage that they could have got. Didn't get it. They had ring camera footage that they did get and somehow lost track of. We don't know what happened with that. Evidence was floating around, riding around in people's cars. What are you going to do? There's really nothing you could do. Let's go ahead and get into our next topic. Let me see a couple more comments. Yeah, Brennan was like, he said, oh, I'm outie. Bye. Yeah. Oh, they got it and deleted it. Again, would not surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me. All right, we got to get back into this whole weird lawsuit about Shannon Sharpe. If you guys don't know, giving you a little bit of background, Shannon Sharpe is going up against Tony Busby, and well, it was a Jane Doe. We know her name is Gabby, and she goes by Gabby. And what happened is Shannon Sharpe had this very strange relationship with this OnlyFans. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. This OF girl. I should be able to say it. Anyway, this Instagram model, and they had a relationship. He allegedly met her at the gym. They had some back and forth. They had some adult encounters. And then at one point during their relationship, towards the end of their relationship, Gabby, the supposed Jane Doe in this lawsuit, was participating in adult activities with Shannon Sharpe. She said no to Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe thought it was just a part of the role play they were doing, according to him. And they just kept it going. After that, she said, Shannon, I didn't want you to do that. Why you do that? Shannon's like, oh, we still role playing? Yeah, come over here and I'll show you why. Shannon wasn't backing down. So now we're in this situation. Shannon Sharpe has this lawsuit he's supposed to fight. There was a hearing set up for Shannon Sharpe a couple of days ago. And it looks like Tony Busby, who's representing Jane Doe, didn't show up. What? Not only did Tony Busby not show up, but apparently his client didn't show up either. Let's go ahead and check it out and see what's going on here.
Well, David, the first hearing in the lawsuit against Pro Football Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe taking place today. An anonymous Las Vegas woman suing him for $50 million, saying that he sexually assaulted her. 8 News Now reporter Jessamine Wolk was in the courtroom and shares where the case stands right now.
The first hearing taking place in the building behind me. Only one attorney showing up on behalf of Team Sharpe and no attorney showing up on behalf of Jane Doe. In the courtroom, District Court Judge Anna Albertson expressing her disappointment that the woman who filed the $50 million lawsuit did not have a legal representative present.
Whether to set up perhaps a settlement conference or to set hearings for litigation, you'd expect all parties to be present. It's certainly strange.
Robert Draskovich, a criminal attorney in Nevada, combing through the court documents. Although he is not working on this case, in his expert opinion, he does not feel the move was in the woman's best interest.
I can't see a tactical advantage to be gained by failing to appear. Obviously, if the judge expressed surprise that counsel was not present, I don't see how that could be in Jane Doe's best interest.
As for Team Sharpe, attorney Robert DeMarco spoke as his single representative, claiming the others were working on other cases out of town. Wow. DeMarco sharing that Sharpe's legal team is mainly from New York. But in Draskovich's opinion, he doesn't feel that's the best move for the civil lawsuit filed in Clark County.
Generally, it's better to have homegrown counsel. I mean, if you have a matter pending in Nevada, it's good to have Nevada counsel.
Sharpe's team asking to review the progress of the case at a later date. The judge shared her surprise that Sharpe's team would not want to get this settled sooner. However, she ultimately granted their request.
Dang, that's crazy. The judge said, hey, y'all sure you don't want to get this taken care of? Which is what I've been saying since the beginning. Shannon should have taken care of this, man. You got to take this L. As much as I hate to say it, when it comes to the civil side of things, in most of these cases, it's going to be pretty tough to beat. And they show the history Shannon Sharpe and Gabby had together. They were in a relationship. They were participating in certain things. But as we've seen in even the Diddy trial, just because this person practices certain activities doesn't mean you can do whatever you want to. That's why Diddy had to settle with Cassie. One of the many reasons why Diddy had to settle with Cassie. And in this instance, Shannon Sharpe, he needs to go ahead and get this taken care of because Tony Busby and the other side, Gabby, are alleging that they have a video showing Shannon Sharpe doing what she's saying he's doing. Shannon Sharpe's seen it and he said it looks bad. Shannon Sharpe said this, guys. He said, okay, well, you know, if you take this video for what it is, I can see how it looks really bad. But you guys are missing the context. You're missing the background story. We were in a relationship. We had this role play back and forth, and it was just something that we did. And she said, no. She didn't really mean it. She didn't mean it, guys. I know how it looks. Shannon, he should have settled this with the quickness. I know they tried, but they should have made that number higher. And now the judge is even saying, are you guys sure? You guys sure you don't want to get this taken care of? Because the longer we wait, the worse it's going to get. Oh, man, Shannon.
It's worth noting we were the only media team in that room, and Team Sharpe did object to us recording. Reporting from downtown, Jessamine Wolk, 8 News Now.
Now, the next hearing in this case isn't scheduled until September.
That's a long way away, too. So let's see what this attorney had to say, because he gives some more insight into what's going on. A woman filed an anonymous lawsuit. Shannon Sharpe exposed her, by the way. Actually, before I get to this, let's see what Shannon Sharpe had to say about these allegations, because he had a lot to say when this news actually broke.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
He said it's bad. He said, listen, guys, he's going to release the tape. Mama, cover your eyes. Cover your ears is bad.
That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media.
This was so
bad. The
bad.
encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, And now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
All right, so y'all tell me which one do you think is worse? I want to know in the comments in the chat. Which video was worse? Shannon Sharpe explaining how this video is going to make him look like garbage? Or Diddy's video apologizing for kicking Cassie up and down the hotel hallway? I don't know. As bad as the one of Cassie, as bad as the Cassie video was, Diddy wasn't being charged for that. And I know hindsight's 2020, so we've seen that Diddy was acquitted on those charges and the statute of limitation ran out, so he couldn't be charged for it anyway. But to me, Diddy's apology video is not as bad as Shannon Sharpe coming out and saying, hey guys, you know, they have this video. The video's going to make me look really bad. If you say that, you might as well go ahead and settle. Just go ahead and settle this thing, man. If you're on video doing the very thing that someone's accusing you of in the lawsuit, what are you fighting for? Oh man. Okay. Maybe Shannon knows something that we don't know. Let's see what this attorney had to say, a Las Vegas attorney, about Shannon Sharpe in this whole situation. The first hearing in the lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe took place Wednesday in downtown Las Vegas. A woman filed the anonymous suit, Gabby, suing the Pro Football Hall of Famer for $50 million, accusing him of battery and assault of a sexual nature. However, no attorney showed up on her behalf for the first hearing. Clark County District Court Judge Anna Albertson expressed her disappointment in court that no legal representation was presented for the plaintiff. And then RD, because I'm going to mess up his last name. Let's see, Robert Draskovich. I think I got it right. A criminal attorney in Nevada who is not represented on either case, called the move to not appear strange and not in the accuser's best interest. He says whether to set up settlement conference or set hearings for litigation, you'd expect all parties to be present, Draskovich said. I can't see a tactical advantage to be gained by failing to appear. I think they're banking on Shannon Sharpe settling, which it seems like he should. This is wild. For Sharpe's team, one representative, attorney Rob DeMarco, we already talked about this, appeared in court on his behalf. DeMarco said the other attorneys on the case have been handling other cases out of state. At the moment, Sharpe's legal team is mainly composed of lawyers from New York. And the lawyer from Las Vegas also said generally it's better to have homegrown counsel. Of course, he said, if you have a matter pending in Nevada, it's best to have Nevada counsel. I don't think the judge is going to weigh that in. Sharpe's team asked the Judge Albertson to review the progress of the case at a later date and extend 45 days. The judge expressed surprise that Sharpe's team did not want to settle sooner, but granted their request. The next hearing is set for September 3rd. I think they're going to try and settle this thing, guys. I think Shannon Sharpe's attorneys are saying, look, man, we already said that the video looks bad. The jury's going to see it and it's going to look bad. If they don't have the full video, you're going to look bad. And it's going to be hard for them to say, no, don't give them their money. Don't give her their money. So let me know what y'all think about this in the comments in the chat. Is Unc done? Is he finished? Should he settle it? Or should they continue to fight? And Tony Busby is over there sweating right now, which is why he didn't show up to court. Let me know what y'all think. Oh, man. Guys, this is bad. Busby's taking L's himself, though. Yeah, Busby is out here taking L's. I think he might have a winning case here, though. Now, I think Diddy's was worse. Diddy wasn't sincere. He could have taken the lead. He could have taken the lead in his video, but he didn't even address Cassie directly. Well, here's the problem with that, Will. He can't. If you remember, we reviewed the details behind Diddy's settlement with Cassie. And one of the details of that settlement is that there is, what is it? I don't want to call it an NDA, but we'll just say there's an order in the part of the lawsuit. ClassE cannot talk about Diddy directly, and Diddy cannot talk about ClassE directly. So Diddy in that video, he can't say her name, or that's another lawsuit. Because that video happened after he had already settled with ClassE. So part of that settlement says Diddy, hey, no talking about ClassE, ClassE, no talking about Diddy. So we won't be seeing a book from ClassE unless, I don't know, she weighs the options and sees that whatever she could possibly be sued for is worth it. But yeah, he couldn't say her name or address her correctly because he's legally not allowed to. And it wouldn't have been smart anyway. That's crazy. They paid that much for lawyers in the Karen Reed case. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you're right. He got video receipts regardless if they're what they appeared to be. Oh, man. Said, that's right. I forgot about that, but I see what Will is saying. Yeah, he couldn't. Let me see if we go back. Y'all want to do a comparison real quick? We can pivot for a second. we could do a comparison of videos. We'll compare Shannon Sharpe's video to Diddy's apology video, and we'll see which one is worse. Oh, man. How bad is this video? It's bad. It's got to be bad for Shannon Sharpe to say what he said. So here's Shannon Sharpe. We just saw this one.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media.
He's got to settle, man.
The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Buzbee want $50 million.
They're both
what they're
bad.
getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Oh, man. And then we've got Diddy. Here's Diddy's apology video. And I'll address what y'all are saying in the chat here in a second. Oh, man. Mr. Vegas, remind me to respond to what you have to say, because I got something to say about that. Let's see what Diddy was saying here when he apologized. And he was shaking his head and just looking so remorseful. Oh, this is taking forever to load. Hold on. Mr. Vegas said, where did it go? He said something I wanted to respond to. He says he can't settle now. It'll look too bad. And he won't be back at ESPN. If he does, no way he can settle this. He can't. It already looks bad. You guys remember what happened with Diddy? Think about this. I'm so serious about this. Mr. Vegas, y'all think about this with me for a second. What's being alleged is that ClassE filed the lawsuit. Diddy said, nah, we're not settling this behind closed doors. I'ma fight it, ClassE. I'm not gonna let you win. So Diddy let this whole thing come out. He went the back and forth between ClassE. We all got to see the lawsuit. We got to read it, right?
I was up.
Hold on a second. We got to read it, right? We got to see it. And then allegedly the feds looked at that and they were like, Diddy, what you got going on over there? We might need to go check this out. So there's some more charges. This is not the first lawsuit in reference to Shannon Sharpe that was filed against Shannon Sharpe. And there is still, you want to talk about statute of limitations? There is still a chance that because this lawsuit came out, then Shannon Sharpe could face criminal charges, guys. So again, they should have made this go away in the first place. And it's very it's very worrisome for me with Shannon Sharpe, because if this goes to trial, if they go the full length, which I highly doubt they will, and it goes to trial and it settles, he could be facing criminal charges. Mr. Vegas says the difference is Shannon has nothing criminal. Not yet. There could still be criminal charges. This just happened. What's being alleged in this lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe just happened. It recently happened within the last year and some change. Dottie's in the building. Shout out to Amazing Grace. Good morning. I love you. Good to see you in here. So this is, it makes me nervous, man, for Shannon Sharpe. Super, super nervous. And he should have, in my opinion, he should have settled this. I would never settle after what happened to Diddy. Melody, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point. He paid $20 million amid, still got charged. The same could happen to Shannon. Never settle, never plea. The problem is the fact that the lawsuit came out, so they're already in trouble there. She has the video. She has the evidence, which Shannon Sharpe admittedly said is going to make him look bad. And she could still press criminal charges. Whether he settles it, whether he goes the whole way, it's not going to absolve him from possibly facing criminal charges. I really don't know what the criminal part could be. Fill me in. All right, I'm not going to fill you all the way in, Mr. Vegas. You'll just have to go and look at the lawsuit. I mean, she's alleging assault and battery, simply put, of a sexual nature. That's what she's alleging. And Shannon Sharpe just said they have a video that would show that. Man, let's see what Diddy said.
I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
So there's that one. I take full responsibility. It was disgusting. I shouldn't have done that. Then we've got this one. He's like, hey guys, it's not what it seems. They're just trying to make me look bad. I was a little freaky. I don't know, y'all.
Family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z.
Well, Mr. Vegas, you can't start to have the conversation and then say you don't care. Come on now. That's not fair. Dang.
Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. Y'all got to tell me which one's worse. Shout out to y'all for having the conversation, though. We've got over 2,400 of you in the building. Where y'all come from? Shout out to everyone that's in here. If you guys could, 2,600 of you now. Make sure you like the video on your way in. Please, guys, likes are free. I'm going to continue to beg for likes as long as I'm here on YouTube. It takes less than a second. It's not going to cost you anything. And I know you guys are going to have a great time. We're interacting in the chat, finding out some interesting legal facts. So make sure y'all stick around. and show some love. All right. Mr. Vegas said, I only came to support you, not because you talk about Diddy or Shannon. Shout out to Mr. Vegas, my dog. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I don't care. And listen, I'm not going to lose. If Shannon Sharpe, because he participated in certain things and decided to deal with a certain person, has to write a $20 million check, whether he does or doesn't, I'm going to sleep fine at night. I'm going to be honest. I don't have these problems. I really don't. So he chose to be in this situation and deal with a certain type of person. It is what it is. So I'm with you, Mr. Vegas. It's good content. And at the end of the day, I'm like, Shannon, come on, man. Do better. You're a grown, you know what, man. You got to do better. So I appreciate that, Mr. Vegas. And I always appreciate Mr. Vegas's insight and back and forth too. Diddy cleaning up after Shannon trying to learn from Diddy and get in front of it. It's too late because the lawsuit came out first. The lawsuit came out first. So he's not getting in front of anything. The first thing we heard, Gabby said, oh, Shay. He put it in. I told him not to. Hey, yo. Shannon's like, whoa, chill, girl. You wanted me to. What? Yeah. We're going to get into a little bit more about Shannon Sharpe. I haven't watched this full video yet, but I want to hear some more perspective when it comes to Shannon Sharpe in this entire lawsuit. Now, we've got Law and Crime. They're going to be talking about what actually went on with Shannon Sharpe being in court, only represented by one attorney, and apparently Gabby and her side, Jane Doe as they're calling her, no one showing up from her side. Not Tony Busby, not her. It was just Shannon Sharpe's attorney and the judge. That's it. Let's see what was going on here.
In a $50 million rape and abuse lawsuit, Shannon Sharpe's legal counsel showed up, but the plaintiff's legal team, not so much. The surprise no-show raises some serious questions about the future of a case already loaded with explosive allegations and high-stakes drama. We are going to break down how all of this unfolded, what could come next in a lawsuit that is tangled in celebrity controversy, and what we should be thinking about as we talk next moves for Shannon Sharpe. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Shout out to Jesse Weber over at Law and Crime.
The first hearing in the explosive $50 million civil lawsuit against Pro Football Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe took an unexpected twist on July 9th, 2025, and that is when apparently no attorney representing the plaintiff showed up at the Clark County District Court out in Nevada. Unusual, potentially damaging. We're going to discuss that. But you have to start asking questions about the direction, maybe the stability of a lawsuit that's delivered more than its fair share of surprises since it first grabbed.
You know what? While we're talking about this, let me just go ahead and show you guys what this lawsuit looks like. And sorry to interrupt, Jesse, but we got to read this introduction. And I think this will clear up a lot of things for you in the comment. Mr. Vegas, I know you weren't familiar with the lawsuit itself. So listen to this introduction. It's pretty short, sweet, and to the point. And I want you to hear what is being alleged. And then combine that with what Shannon Sharpe says we're going to be able to see, not us, but a jury. And let me know what you think about the validity of this civil lawsuit. All right, here we go. A woman can say yes to consensual intercourse with a man 99 times. But when she says no, even once, that no means no. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept. After many months of manipulating and controlling the plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatened to brutally choke and violently slap her, Sharpe refused to accept the answer no and assaulted the plaintiff, despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. Again, Shannon Sharpe is not denying this. Shannon Sharpe's argument is she wanted it. Oh, man. Defendant Shannon Sharpe is a 56-year-old former NFL superstar. He claims to be one of the most successful sports media personalities in the country. The plaintiff is a young woman in her early 20s. In 2023, just a couple of years ago, the plaintiff was working out at a gym in LA when Shannon Sharpe approached her for the first time, allegedly. Previously, Doe, we'll call her Gabby, had noticed Shannon Sharpe watching her during her workouts. At this time, Gabby was just 19 years old. It gets worse, guys. It gets worse. At the time, she did not know who he was, only that he was an older man ogling her at the gym. Gabby could tell Sharpe was much older than her. She found him physically intimidating. Oh, come on. Okay, stop. Eventually, he introduced himself. At his determined instance, she gave him her number. Over the next couple of weeks, Sharpe incessantly pursued the plaintiff. He constantly approached her at the gym and attempted to contact her frequently with phone calls and text messages asking her to meet up, unwilling to take no for an answer. Eventually, the plaintiff gave in and agreed to meet Shannon Sharpe outside of the gym. However, before doing so, Sharpe demanded that Gabby sign a non-disclosure agreement or an NDA, something the plaintiff found a bit concerning. She wondered why Sharpe was so insistent on her signing an NDA. She refused. Despite his repeated efforts, Shannon done effed up. She refused time and time again to sign, and eventually Shannon Sharpe dropped the issue and invited her into his home. What followed was the beginning of a rocky, consensual relationship that lasted nearly 2 years. The relationship was very unequal. Sharpe is more than 30 years older, is considerably wealthier, is physically much larger, and exponentially stronger. Sharpe is famous and has power. Plaintiff and Sharpe saw each other on his terms and on his schedule, as often as 4 times a week. Over time, the plaintiff began to see Sharpe's true nature. She found him to be dishonest about his whereabouts. He would lie about seeing other women while insisting to her that he and she were exclusive. He often manipulated her at times, being sweet and loving to get what he wanted, and at other times being angry and aggressive to achieve his goals. She discovered over time that Sharpe was extremely emotional and possessed an uncontrollable temper. He displayed the characteristics of a true narcissist. He wielded his power, his influence, and his celebrity to control the plaintiff and get exactly what he wanted, whenever he wanted it, all while the jealousy guarding what he considered his for himself. Now, listen to this. This just happened recently. By October 2024, Sharpe's behavior had grown progressively worse, according to the lawsuit, beyond anything the plaintiff had experienced with him before. At this point, she was done. He was insistent upon recording their adult activities, sometimes without her knowledge. Sharpe was also sharing the videos with others without her permission or knowledge. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Sharpe would repeatedly tell Gabby that he wanted to do things to her that would make no other man want her. By this point, Sharpe was no longer able to credibly maintain that the relationship was exclusive. He had at this point accidentally or purposely, to advance his career, went live on Instagram while having intercourse with another woman. Y'all remember his thing with Michelle? Sharpe flew into fits of anger when the plaintiff noted his infidelity to their relationship, or called him out about his extraneous activities. What had once been manipulation, control, and intimidation now became something more dangerous and sinister. Sharpe even figured out how to get into Gabby's apartment complex without her permission. Sharpe made it clear that what Gabby wanted was of no moment, that Sharpe would get what he wanted when he wanted it. In October 2024, Sharpe violently assaulted and put it in her butt 2 different times in Las Vegas, Nevada, blatantly ignoring her request for him to stop. He did it again in January. Not January of 2024, January of this year, 6 months ago. Wow. The plaintiff left Nevada to temporarily escape defendant Shannon Sharpe. She now seeks justice through his actions and other means. The plaintiff seeks compensatory and punitive damages in this matter in excess of $50 million. So there's the background for you. That's what she's alleging what happened. We reviewed this full lawsuit in another video. If y'all want to watch it, I'll leave a link to that video in the description for you. So now let's go back, knowing that, to what they're saying over on Sidebar. Yikes.
Having the headline several months ago. Now, before we dive into the latest developments, got to do a little bit of a rewind here. So the lawsuit that was filed on April 20th, 2025 by prominent Houston attorney Tony Buzbee on behalf of an anonymous woman in her 20s contains graphic allegations against the former NFL tight end turned media superstar Shannon Sharpe. And the complaint alleges that Sharpe engaged in what is essentially a pattern of sexual violence and psychological abuse during what began as a consensual relationship with the plaintiff, who, by the way, is apparently more than 30 years his junior. According to court documents, the plaintiff met Sharpe at a Los Angeles gym when she was just 19 years old, and the lawsuit claims that Sharpe, quote, incessantly pursued the young woman, demanding her phone number, eventually asking her to visit his home. And most disturbingly, possibly, is the filing alleges that Sharpe required this woman to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, before their first meeting, although this request is something she repeatedly refused. Now, the relationship, according to her, allegedly turned abusive, verbally screaming at or berating her, violent sexual episodes, control. But the most graphic allegation describes Sharpe allegedly sexually assaulting and raping her, including ignoring her screams and refusing to wear a condom. Now, the lawsuit also claims that Sharpe secretly recorded their intimate encounters, shared the videos without her consent.
No bueno.
But maybe the most chilling aspect of this are the alleged threats that were captured in audio recordings that were released by Tony Buzbee. In fact, in one clip, a voice identified as Sharpe's can be heard saying, "If you say that word one more time, I'm going to bleep and choke the bleep out of you when I see you." Now, the woman, allegedly the plaintiff in the case, then can be heard saying she doesn't want that, while the voice resembling Sharpe responds, "Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter." So,
guys, this is so bad. This is so bad. Settle this, Shannon. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Oh, God.
Comes a question, do you take that literally? Or I think the other way of looking at it from the defense's point of view would be this is role-playing of some kind. Well, Sharpe has adamantly denied all the allegations through his attorney, or one of his attorneys, Lanny Davis, who called the lawsuit, quote, a classic definition of blackmail. And the former NFL star took to Instagram shortly after the lawsuit became public, posting a video where he called the allegations, quote, a shakedown, promised to fight back aggressively, quote, what they're getting is sued, Sharpe declared in the since-deleted post. And he even suggested that Buzbee planned to release edited portions of a sex tape and challenged him to release the full recording.
This is a shakedown. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it sounds bad. It sounds bad in general. Again, not something I'm interested in personally, but when it comes to this lawsuit, it's just the odds are stacking up against Shannon Sharpe. Let's just be real. God, it's not looking great for him. He sent those text messages. You can hear the audio. They've got a video of her saying, no, no, no. Settle this thing, man.
And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
So now let's talk a little law here. So typically, defendants in lawsuits, in federal lawsuits, are given 21 days to respond with an answer once they're provided the summons and complaint. An answer being where they go through the allegations in the complaint line by line, paragraph by paragraph, and they admit, deny, say they don't have enough information. It's a response. And, you know, what's interesting about this is, according to reporting from the New York Post, it doesn't seem that Sharpe has legally responded as of yet. Can't really confirm that, but that's what the reporting seems to suggest. And we'll talk more about that when we get into it. But first, I want to bring on a special guest to help me break down the latest, including what happened in this hearing. I am joined by sports attorney Dan Lust, professor, New York Law School. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for taking the time.
Always good to see you, Jesse. Happy to help.
Thanks. So what are the typical timelines for a high-profile civil lawsuit like this to progress from filing to resolution? Am I right that it's 21 days to respond? I mean, is it typical? How does it work for people who don't know how civil lawsuits typically work?
Yeah, I mean, this is like law school basics, right? We're talking about how a lawsuit started, right? There's the filing of the complaint. There's the service of the complaint. So, certainly depends on what court you're in, what state you're in. But generally, right, once you are served with the complaint, sometimes you have 21 days. Sometimes you add some more time if it's personal service versus a mailing, right? But either way, once a commencement papers are started, you have a set amount of days to respond to that. Otherwise, you risk being held in default, either by plaintiff's counsel's motion or sometimes, right, particularly in federal court, something like sua sponte, right? And that's a fun Latin term where the judge themselves decides to hold you in default. So it is somewhat odd, and I know, Jesse, there's probably more questions than answers. We get to this hearing, and we have no response from defendant, but we also have a no-show from plaintiff. So it's not really your typical setting how we're starting this debate. And in this case, a very high.
That's a great point. I didn't even think about this. We don't have an official response yet, which is strange. All we have is this video from Shannon Sharpe. We don't have. It would be nice to see a response of them laying out, hey, here's what really is going down. We just have the video. That's it.
Profile case. But I wouldn't say this is following the normal playbook, so to speak.
By the way, as we're talking about a big lawsuit like this, how could I not talk about experts in the litigation field? Morgan & Morgan.
Shout out to Morgan & Morgan.
It's interesting that apparently a lawyer didn't show up and why that might have happened. But going back to this, if it's real, if the reporting's true, and this was filed in April, I mean, we're already in July. We would say 21 days, 30 days. I didn't see anything. Yeah, I didn't see anything about him getting some sort of extension. He might have. But what would be the reason to not prepare an answer? And would there be a situation where the court says, we're going to allow the case to go forward? You're not in default. Just file an answer as soon as you can. I mean, it just seems strange that based on the reporting, I think it was from the New York Post a few days ago, that they said there was no legal response yet. Can you give any insight into that?
That's so strange.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I tell my clients, right, like the wheels of justice turn very slowly. And sometimes you don't really have an answer, right? And sometimes just, hey, what is stopping these attorneys from just kind of pushing the case out indefinitely? So behind the scenes, judges are graded on their own rubrics about how quickly they're adjudicating cases. So no judge is in the business of just allowing a case to be we'll say extended indefinitely. And judges, part of their job, in addition to getting a decision on the merits or pushing the parties toward a settlement, is to push the parties in some direction and not just kind of lay out there. And Jesse, just I guess like strategically, when Lanny Davis came onto the case, he came in very aggressively. And I know we spent a lot of time in our last conversation talking about making public of certain settlement negotiations. But Lanny Davis also said that Sharpe was going to go on the aggressive with his own defamation case. So, I just from the initial posturing of the case, Sharpe is not taking an aggressive standpoint. Quite the contrary. He's just kind of playing wait and see, I guess, for lack of a better term. So, if people have questions as to why Sharpe and his legal team, and I think there's some new lawyers involved now, it's certainly a changing of the strategy, which on day one was let's go 100 miles per hour, let's go on the offensive. And now when you don't really file an answer, it's safe to say
yeah, because they don't have a case. And I was confused at why they were moving the way they were moving, just coming out and being so blatant and strong against what actually happened and what went down. I mean, if Shannon Sharpe has the evidence, if he has proof of his innocence, then you think he would want to put it out there, other than the video, other than his attorney doing some interviews and saying, Tony Busby doing this thing, this girl, they were in a relationship. We've seen tons of text messages already. We've heard the audio of the phone calls. We've seen Shannon Sharpe apologize and say, I'm sorry y'all had to see this, but we were just doing our thing. And no written response yet. It's not looking great.
Even playing
it's like
defense,
they're waiting for somebody else to.
Nothing.
Is that typical in the sense, like you could say, okay, well, there's a change in circumstances. We're going to come off aggressive first, but things can change. It's not necessarily that there was a mistake made with that comment. I mean, there could be a situation where you say a thing one day and then there's a change in circumstances the next, right? I mean, I hear exactly what you're saying. And I believe Lonnie Davis had talked about how Shannon Sharpe had rejected a settlement offer. And like you said, we talked about that. Was that wise to make that public? But I guess there could be maybe just a reason why there seems to be a change.
I mean, I'll give you my best guess, right? So it looks like Lanny Davis, for we'll say best case scenario, is one of now a number of lawyers involved on Sharpe's side. So it could be, right, you have new representation. They want to slow things down. They want to just change the gear, right? The other, just I want to throw this out there. And again, you and I are trying to make sense of what is pretty much a barren docket at this point. Why, and certainly on the plaintiff side, people are not, this is not a foreign concept. Plaintiff's attorneys in a case like this will generally work off of some contingency. So they'll get paid, assuming plaintiff side wins, right? They're not generally working off of a billable hour system. Very different on the defense side, where defense counsel are getting paid by the hour, right? Billable hours. So if Sharpe's side were to take an aggressive standpoint on a defense case, for the most part, again, we're not aware of what Sharpe's arrangement is here, but you'd be paying attorneys by the hour to take an aggressive standpoint on that defense. Now, hypothetically, Jesse, let's say the parties, since you and I last spoke, right, at the end of April, beginning of May, whenever that was, let's say the parties have made some additional traction towards settlement. And as Sharpe's lawyer, Davis, said, at one point they were making some progress. So let's say over the last 2 months or so, they've made some progress. That would be a reason to slow down these court proceedings. So Sharpe's side is not racking up the legal hours, speeding a case along in terms of starting the process of discovery and getting a deposition schedule. And maybe they're having some real substantive momentum of moving this forward. That's also a plausible explanation. And it's not just changing of the guard. It could be some progress is being made behind the scenes that you and I wouldn't see.
Yeah, but still, waiting that long to file a response doesn't make sense to me, just from a legal standpoint. And now things have settled down, they're ramping back up. The last thing we remember is Shannon Sharpe saying, guys, it's not what it looks like. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the chat. I want to read a couple of y'all's comments, but we got some super chats in the building. Shout out to the super chats. And big thank you to everyone that's in here. 2,300 of you have liked the video so far. Appreciate y'all. Make sure if you guys haven't yet, go ahead and like that video, all right? We've got a couple of super chats in here. We've got Slim Life New Jersey gifting membership. Shout out to Slim Life. If you got that membership from Slim Life, make sure you say thank you. And we've got Amy in here as well, gifting 5 memberships. If you got a membership from the awesome, amazing Amy, make sure you guys say thank you. All right. Always showing up, always showing love. Busby is getting ready to bleep around and end up like Michael, oh man, in jail extorting Nike. Tony knows how to push the limits. I don't understand an attorney not coming to court and the defense not blowing their top to throw the case out. Accuser has 100% shown their hand already. They didn't want to go to trial. They're the ones not showing up. Do not settle. I don't think anybody with a civil lawsuit wants to go to trial because it's all about money in the first place, right? So I don't think the point is to go to trial. It's not like at the end of it, Shannon Sharpe's going to end up in jail. It's like either go to jail or take money. It's like, no, this is all about the payment. So why are we going to go through this? Just write us a check, dude. You know what you did. Just let it go. You have to have faith in the jury. The footage is bad for job interviews, bad for image, but a jury could view it as entrapment if they show there was role playing. I just think there's too much there. And again, y'all know, I think I have a good reputation looking at this as a juror. If I see all this, I'm like, I see that video and she's like, no, not there. And she tells him shortly after that she's upset about it. It's going to be tough. If a jury saw what Diddy did, and said he wasn't guilty. Ain't no way Shannon's will be found liable. He didn't have the baby oil. Well, the problem is she moved pretty quick. And even though y'all want to say, yes, she came back, it's not like with Cassie, she was in a relationship with him for 11 years. She was in a relationship with him for a couple of years. This one instance happened. And then shortly after that, the lawsuit was filed. It's tough, man. It's tough. Well, I think it's, you say our black men, but it's guys all over the place. Need to stop putting themselves in a situation like this. She wouldn't sign the NDA, and he should have moved on. Yeah, absolutely. If she wouldn't sign the NDA, why didn't he move on? Because he saw what he liked, as the lawsuit said. And that's alleged. We don't even know if he offered for her to sign the NDA. So we don't know. I think it's a shakedown because Shannon Sharpe went on Instagram tapping cheeks with Michelle. Yeah, she might be a Cassie, but guess what, guys? Cassie got 20 million. So if you feel that way, it's fine, but yeah. You think he is guilty? Do I think he's guilty? Only thing Shannon Sharpe is guilty of is being dumb. No, I do not think he's guilty. I don't think I'm always going to say innocent until proven guilty. So no, he hasn't been proven guilty. What I'm saying is, based on the burden of proof for these civil cases and the evidence that has already been shown, I think he should have settled this, because he's going to be, the ruling's going to go against him. She had to sell it, and harder for them to get. Oh my God, I can't read that out loud. The lawsuit was filed after Michelle. That's true. It is role playing. The right person got in her ear and she started using it. Yeah, she put our plan in motion. Maybe, but the evidence it doesn't look great. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look great. He offered her 10 million. She turned it down. Was that a bad move? Nope. If this chick is confident to turn down 10, guys, you know how much $10 million is? I don't want you guys to say, but the average person doesn't make $100,000 a year. $10 million, you could live off of $100,000 a year. For 100 years. That's a lot of money to turn down. That's a lot of money to turn down. How do you turn down $100 million if you don't have something that's just going to look absolutely egregious? Most people, let me ask y'all this. I don't see what you see. I don't think anybody will see this and say Shannon is liable. Looking at everything, the whole relationship. Then Mr. Vegas, if that's how you feel, and thank you for bringing that up, Nancy. Mr. Vegas, if that's how you feel, why do you think she turned down the $10 million? Think it's straight greed? They have to have something that just looks so glaringly bad that Shannon Sharpe should have settled this. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing it, guys. OF is a conspiracy. They learn your you-know-whats and trap you with them. Yeah, maybe. She believes in her case. Listen, guys, if I'm walking, God forbid, I'm walking down the street and I'm going across the street to get something to eat and I get hit by a car. I break my arm, I break my leg. I'm in a coma for 10 days. And my lawyer comes to me and he says, hey, man, listen, I know you're hurting. We're planning on taking this to trial. All right. They're offering you $10 million. You could take the $10 million right now, or we could go to trial and you could potentially get $100 million. But there's a chance that the other side will be able to show that you were jaywalking, and you might not get that $100 million. You want to take the $10 million, or you want to take a chance at $100 million? I'm going to be over there sitting back in my hospital bed. I'm going to take that pen and I'm going to go with my broken arm. I don't trust juries. I don't trust these court proceedings. And one thing could be said that could throw the whole case away. I'm taking that $10 million. I'm like, hey, I'm good. And I think I think we underestimate how much money, how many zeros that actually is. To turn that down, you would have to be have the best case in the world, have a greedy lawyer, have a greedy client or something, because I'm not turning it down, guys. Y'all can. I'm not turning it down for a potential $100 million. Give me that $10 million. I'll turn it into $100 million. We good. Shout out to Shine on You Crazy Diamond with the 12 euros in here. Thank you so much. She says, thanks for everything you do. Love your humor so much. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you. Boy, that's a hell of a delusion, or be delusional. That's some crazy delusion. With no police report, you're screwed. We got the police report and everything. They say, hey man, you just got to sit tight. You can stay in the hospital bed for about 60 days. And we're going to try and get you $100 million. I'm like, man, can you give me my 10 million so I can pay for these medical bills and retire? I'm not doing this. They turned it down because 50 million is 40 million more. Northern DC gets it. You get it. You know what's going on. Yeah, the actual full video of the role play, Tony Busby's going to play 30 seconds. What if they only have 30 seconds? They say, we don't have access to the full video, because it sounded like she's the only one who had the video. But it's enough for the jury to see what's going on. She's like, no, Shannon, no. And then she texts him the next day. I didn't want you to do that. And they're on the phone. Shannon, why did you do that after I asked you not to? I don't care. You know you wanted it. What? Guys, this is no. Tony Busby has to recoup from the malarkey. And that's true. I think you're giving these 304s too much credit. It's the system, Mr. Vegas. It's the system. It has nothing to do with her. It has nothing to do with her. It has nothing to do with Shannon Sharpe. It has everything to do with the system. And in these civil cases, if you have this type of evidence, then it's not looking great. Again, comparably, look at Cassie. And she was in a relationship with him for 11 years. And she had one video of him kicking her up and down the hallway. And she got $20 million. Do we even know what happened for a fact inside of that hotel room? Do you guys know? I don't know. I mean, there's theories out there that Cassie was the one who instigated the interaction in the first place. But she got 20 million just because of that one video. There were text messages of Cassie saying, yeah, I want to do a freak off. She still got 20 million. She was with Diddy, left someone for Diddy, left Diddy, went to someone else, came back to Diddy, left Diddy, went to someone else, came back to Diddy again. And she still got $20 million. It's nothing to do with the 304s. Guys, a jury convicted Cassie of being a 304. They said all Diddy's guilty of is flying these chicks out. She still got 20 million. It's not about them. It's about the system. And the system is built for these type of allegations to get you a nice check. And until they change the system, Mr. Vegas, unfortunately, the 304 is going to keep winning. So the best thing is to stay away from them. She didn't get it from court. She didn't deserve it. I agree. If she's the only one with the video, then she set him up for money. Well, it's alleged that Shannon Sharpe recorded her too in the lawsuit. That's crazy. Shout out. I see someone over on the Cash App too. Appreciate you. Shout out to my dog CPE in the building with the 5-bomb. He says, just paying taxes. Amy, thanks for, oh, I missed it. Thanks for keeping something. Oh no, CPE, what did the rest of your message say? Cash App cut it off. Dang, that's crazy. Amy, thanks for keeping it something. They're keeping it real? I'm not sure. 304s are going to keep getting paid because some men are going to keep putting themselves in a situation. And the laws aren't going to change. So yes, they're going to keep getting these checks. So I guess it said Chevy truck is less than a minute. That's what I'm saying about it being 40 million more. Busby might be a dirtbag, but for Busby to turn that down, he has to know he's got him dead to rights. That doesn't mean she should have gotten 20 million. Well, we can't talk about shoulds when it comes to the law. Melody, you know better than that. Diddy has someone like you advising him. The jury didn't believe Cassie. She wouldn't have gotten anything if he held put. I think you're wrong. I think you're 1000% wrong. Guys, we're talking about civil. This is not a criminal case. The burden of proof is different. They're not built the same. So yeah, if you want to go to trial, fine. But the standard is way different. All right, we've got a couple more things I wanted to get into. And then I'm going to set y'all free. But y'all know the difference between civil and criminal hearings are way, way different. Oh, shoot. No, we're doing Kanye first. Let me get Kanye up in here. Do I have a picture of Kanye somewhere? Let me see. I should, because we talked about him before. We got Sean Kingston. I might have to just put Judge Whitaker up there. Shout out to Judge Whitaker. When we're talking about judges, she's the one I always think of. All right, here we go. Let me read a couple more comments and then we'll get on to the next one. You can't get with the 304 and expect her to be a lady. Ooh. They settled. Nothing was decided by a jury in the civil case. True. We haven't seen a jury decide anything in the civil with Diddy. ClassE, you and all reporters, man, need to start telling the truth on these situations, man. I don't care what happened if a person is going on a record basically saying that she was assaulted and files a lawsuit. Okay, what do you mean by that? Because again, I can be objective, guys. I'm not talking about what should happen. I'm talking about what will happen. If we want to talk about what should happen, that's fine. I agree with you guys on that. We're talking about the law. And what does the law say? And again, I've went through the law about consent and I've talked to you guys ad nauseum about these consent cases. Consent can be removed at any time. It can be removed before, it can be removed during, it can be removed after. And that's what the law says. So we can talk all day about what should be, but at the end of the day, this man finna write her a check. ClassE, you keep saying you know what he did, like this man really did something. What? She was with it and she tried to shake this man down. She didn't call 911. That's just my opinion, not a lawsuit. I did not say Shannon Sharpe did anything. I actually said the opposite, and I believe Shannon Sharpe is innocent until he's proven guilty. What y'all always refuse to take into account is what the evidence show, what the facts of the case are. It doesn't matter how I feel. It matters what the law says, what's being alleged, and what the evidence shows. And that's it. I think Shannon Sharpe is innocent. Only thing he's guilty of is being a freak. All right. Hey, yo. But if there's when it comes to consent, if this chick is saying, I didn't like that, and if there's a phone call of her saying, I didn't like that, and if there's a video of her saying, I don't want this, he's cooked. What are we talking about? That is the textbook definition of consent, guys. So I know you want to get in your feelings and say, oh, these 304s, man, they out here winning. Yeah, because that's the consent laws. You cannot dispute consent. You really can't. You can't. Yeah, there's audio, but it doesn't sound real. Okay, well. Good luck with that. Good luck. Go ahead and tell the jury that. Shannon Sharpe said, hey, it's not what it looks like, guys. It's not what it looks like. Shannon, we have eyes. We have ears, Shannon. We saw the text messages. Like, again, guys, you got to focus on this is about consent and what does the law say? It doesn't matter how I feel or what I think. And if we want to hope that a jury looks at the law and sees what the law says for a Karen Reed, if we want to hope that the jury looks at the law and sees what the law says for a Diddy, then we have to say the same thing. And if you have a problem with it, then you have to look at the law. You can't look at the person who's filing the lawsuit. The law says they can. The law allows them to do that. It sucks, but it is what it is. Shout out to Will Wallace in here with the 50 bomb. Oh my goodness. In my opinion, Shannon was obsessed with this young lady. He took advantage of her. He didn't respect her, allegedly, but this is his opinion. I also feel that she's a scammer. Agreed. Why not call the cops? She could have, she can still call the cops, guys. This just happened 5 months ago, all right? 5-6 months ago. I also feel that she's a scammer. Why not call the cops? She should have taken the $10 million, and Shannon should try safe. You know what? These women aren't running backs. Oh, man. Shout out to Mr. Wallace in here. Thank you for the major support, my guy. And I agree with you partially. Again, as I said, I think Shannon Sharpe is innocent. And I think although I think Shannon Sharpe is innocent, what the law says is a different thing. And when it comes to consent, guys, please don't make me go down this consent rabbit hole again. I've spent so many live streams trying to get you to understand consent when it comes to the law. They have evidence, they have text messages, they have audio. As a juror, if you look at that and you have a preponderance, it's not looking good. I disagree, class. You're wrong. There are so many cases where no means yes and yes means no. The jury can use common sense. She is the one that recorded the call afterwards, so it's not solid evidence. Okay. And I would challenge you this because I've seen those and we've talked about it here on the live stream. I've seen many of those cases where no meant yes. The problem is that was something that was had in a conversation before. So if there was no conversation when Shannon Sharpe and Gabby were like, hey, I don't want to get too graphic, when you're doing that certain thing that we talked about, if you try and go in another place and I say no, just keep going. I want you to keep going. If there's no documented conversation of that happening, then by default, Melody, you should know this. No means no. It always means no. No matter the relationship, no matter the nature of the relationship. Even if they had done that specific thing several times before, and it's not documented that, hey, we've got a safe word here. This is a safe word. So even if I say no, unless I say whatever, unless I say Yeezy, then you got to stop. So many cases. I've already looked at the case law, so y'all don't argue that with me because I've looked at the case law and went through it. So many cases where that's been the case. And there's even been cases where there was a safe word in place and it was still considered assault. This is the all right, you guys, we always do this and y'all always argue with me. It happens. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. Unless you can somehow pick 12 baddies in the jury, the vid is a problem for Shannon, says, yeah, I agree. If women make false accusations, this can lead to genuine victims not being believed later on. Well, that's the problem with consent. She believes she's a victim. You know why? Because she said no. And she told him after no. So she believes she's a victim. And she did not consent to that. You guys don't. Okay. We both know there's a difference between being not guilty and innocent. Exactly. And there's a huge difference between the standards of guilt in a criminal and civil case. CPE is on it. Absolutely, CPE. You get it. I can believe that Shannon Sharpe is innocent. And I can also say that man's going to be found guilty. You're also saying the laws don't change, and that's wrong. Every case creates a new precedent. I agree, but the law is the law when it comes to consent, it's not very favorable to the accused. We just don't know. Oh, we know a lot. Yes, you're missing it. She said she was assaulted. She called the lawyer. Yeah, of course. There's nothing wrong with that. If someone says stop, just stop. The way he says he's going to choke her and her response and her tone, bruh, that sounds so much like role play. But if you're not into role play, you're never going to hear it like that. You guys are missing it. Missing it. I don't believe she believes she's a victim. I truly don't believe that. I believe after Michelle, she set everything in motion. She set the whole thing up for a couple of months to a T. I think that's possible too. If everyone in this chat can see through it, a jury can too. Yeah, and again, I went back and forth like this with y'all before, and it turned out that I was on the money. So you know what? As always, if I'm wrong, I will be wrong, guys. And I will come up here on this channel and I will admit that I was wrong. But man, this ain't great. If he would have had her sign the NDA, then that wouldn't have to prove this. Oh, he wouldn't have to prove this. Oh no, I think he's 100% cooked, says Northern DC. Yeah, I think you see both sides. CPA sees both sides of what I'm saying. I think he's absolutely innocent. And I'm going to think that. I think he just made a stupid decision. If a woman, I hope the jury has common sense. That's all I'm saying. Well, it's tough. No matter what she says, if there's a video of her saying no and he continues, that's his fault. Yes. How can consent be removed after? Please don't make me do this. Guys, look up. There's too many cases of this. I'm not going to go through it. I went through it 1,000 times. on this show. It can, and it has been. You agreed to do something, do it, and then after you did it, you can say, psych, I take it back. That's consent? Yes. That doesn't sound right. A lot of the law doesn't sound right, but it's still the law. CPE says, I was trying to say, thanks. You are the reason this channel is so classy. Oh, shout out to Amy. Yeah, that's true. That's a fact. J Ray says, I probably won't be wrong. It's fine. It's fine. I need to put this in my notes as the live stream to come back to. So if I'm wrong, I can say, hey, you guys were right. I missed it. We just see it differently. That's all. I do get what you're saying, though. The law is the law. That's all you're saying. And it's not that high of a burden. It's not that high of a burden. And consent, men, listen to me. You do not want to get caught up in litigation over consent. You're going to lose. You are going to lose, guys. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. It is. I'm sorry. Don't put yourself in that situation. You are going to lose. I appreciate you schooling me on the laws of consent. Seriously. Oh, listen, Stephen Callie. If you have sons, if you have nephews, educate yourself and do it for them. Educate yourself on consent. I don't want you to live out here in a bubble, but I think people need to be aware of what the law says in that case. I think he is innocent too, but he made dumb choices, and so I don't feel sorry for him. Speaking of people who made dumb choices, oh, y'all can't even see. Hold on a second. I just realized y'all cannot see my guy's full comment on the screen. Here we go. Shout out again to Will Wallace in here showing major support. We got to talk about Ye. We got to talk about Ye. All right. So what is going on with Kanye? When this lawsuit first dropped last year, we reviewed what was going on with Kanye West and his former assistant. Kanye West was out here wilding. We know he was doing crazy stuff inside of the Adidas meetings, allegedly. And then he had this lawsuit that came out against him where this woman is saying Ye is going crazy. Now they're amending the lawsuit and saying, oh, wait. There's more. Check it out. According to TMZ, Kanye West's ex-assistant says he orally violated her and touched her stuff. Y'all know what that's called. It starts with the R and ends with the ape. Kanye West's former personal assistant is piling on more serious allegations against the rapper. Now she's accusing him of assaulting her in a sexual manner, along with a bunch of other horrible stuff, according to new legal docs. Lauren Pescato, and this poor woman, I think she has one of those diseases where she's allergic to clothes. So y'all bear with me. Lauren, she has one of these rare diseases where I think clothes she's either allergic or she just has a problem with finding them. Hopefully y'all can say a prayer for her. I apologize. Who originally sued Ye in 2024. He allegedly sent her vile texts and videos before firing her. Filed a second amended complaint this week, claiming Kanye did a whole truckload of bad things to her. Oh my. She accuses Kanye of assault, battery, stalking, certain type of battery, certain type of trafficking, false imprisonment, and more. Pescato says during a business trip, they were staying at a hotel in San Francisco where they were breaking ground on Ye's new Donda school, and Kanye started making unwanted advances. Pescato says she tried to rebuff Kanye, but he kissed her on the mouth and asked questions about what her you-know-what private parts were like. Here's what happened when the lawsuit broke. Good grief. Shout out to TMZ. Oh, it looks like we're going to get an ad first, so I'll keep reading. She says she again tried to fend him off, but it was to no avail, claiming things took a dark turn at a writing session for a new album in his hotel. Pescato says Kanye pleasured himself and touched her privates before falling asleep mid-sentence as he was talking to her. Again, apologize for the pictures. Kanye then allegedly showed up at Pescato's hotel room and demanded she let him use her shower before pushing his way through the door. Here we go.
We are going to start with a shocking lawsuit, a story we broke yesterday. Kanye West is being sued for sexual harassment by his ex-assistant. But this lawsuit, I got to say, the information in this lawsuit is about as filthy as it gets.
Yeah, we are going to have a hard time describing the things that Lauren Pisciata claims Kanye, while she was under his employ, that he was texting to her.
So she was an OnlyFans model, and she says making about $1 million a year, very successful, when Kanye somehow spotted her.
And decided he wanted to, I like how you said that, somehow spotted her.
She never says in the lawsuit that it's because of OnlyFans.
Right, but he became familiar with her and wanted to hire her to be his personal assistant. And it is worth mentioning, I think, that when she came on board was within months of Kanye's divorce from Kim Kardashian.
Can I just note that she does not look dissimilar to Kim?
Correct, she does not. But she doesn't, that's just our opinion. She doesn't mention that at all in the lawsuit. But she says once she was on board that Kanye, as her boss, would text her things, but the things that she says he was texting had nothing to do with, work. It was more about sex, his desire to have sex with her. I'm cleaning this up as much as I can, but
how about fixation with a male body part?
Yes, his own.
Yeah, also fixation with what she was doing with other men. He wanted to know about that. What is wrong Charles, with you hit on this. Man. What makes this sort of all the worse is not that he was having conversations with somebody he happened to know. It's with an employee.
Allegedly.
Certainly, allegedly. It was with an employee. Those are the allegations. She was actually his employee, first a personal assistant. She then says he promised her promotions, not in exchange for anything, but just as a matter of course. These
and also a huge pay increase.
Huge pay increase, up to as much as $4 million. And so the allegations in the complaint are obviously insanely graphic, and that's what's going to get the headlines. But underlying it all, allegations of real discrimination against an employee. Said he fired her. She alleges it was failure to engage in some sort of quid pro quo, harassment based on gender. A lot of really serious allegations.
Kanye has not responded. We reached out. We have not heard back from his rep. But I got to tell you, when you read this thing,
there's some of the quotes, by the way, that sound like something I've heard him say before. There's one thing in particular about saying that a certain part of his anatomy is racist. That he was telling, according to her, to Lauren, he was telling her in text that he believes his penis is racist.
And I think what he's saying is that he likes white women.
Right.
And I think that,
that's how I read
it. That's the way I understood it too. Now, again,
crazy guys.
These are allegations.
Yeah.
And you never know. And I think it's so important to say, look, this is a public lawsuit. She filed it. We actually had heard rumblings that this was coming down the pike.
I wasn't here when you broke this yesterday. Did she include in the lawsuit any of the text messages?
Yeah.
Like screen grabs of text messages?
Well, she wrote the text messages.
She wrote it out, but no screen grabs.
No, but she wrote it out in painstaking detail. She clearly wanted to make the nature of the text messages, as well she should if they're accurate, the focal point of what people were going to see and point out. Every detail is in there.
Hi, this is Lauren from Marina Del Rey, and to tell you the truth, I'm not surprised to hear about these allegations. I've been concerned about a lot of the women in Kanye's orbit for a long time. He obviously needs an HR department. I think he needs some help himself, and I hope this woman gets justice if these allegations are true. And I am curious to know how this might affect his current marriage.
Well, I got to say, I'm glad you mentioned that, because Bianca Censori, his wife, was working there at the same time as Lauren.
As a designer, right.
And
he was the Yeezy designer.
Right, and she was there at the same time. Obviously, we haven't heard from her, but...
yeah, hopefully she recovers from this disease and is able to find some clothes that work for her. I feel bad. Kanye then allegedly showed up at Piscata's hotel room and demanded she let him use her shower before pushing his way through the door. Piscato says Kanye shoved her onto the bed, pinned her down, and forced his private parts into her mouth. She says she begged and pleaded for Ye to stop and froze in shock and fear. She says Ye eventually stopped, apologized to her, and walked out of the room. Oh, well, okay. That was nice of him. Here's a tweet from Ye. Why did I ever F Lauren Pescado? She smelled funny, and half of the NBA can attest to that. He said that this year. And get this, Pescado says Ye offered her a sexual gift as a sexual gift to someone in exchange for Ye having intercourse with that person's significant other. She says Ye notoriously offered women as sexual gifts to men. By the way, in her first attempt, our first amended complaint filed in May, Pescado accused Kanye of drugging her at a studio session co-hosted by Diddy, among other things. Surprise. We reached out to Ye. So far, no word back. Guys, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say at this point. The fact that they're doubling down seems like there might be a lot to this. Again, it's a civil lawsuit, so we know things are different. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, in the chat. Wild stuff. What are these celebrities doing out here, man? Ninja's lacking. Amy says, is it a crime to like white women? Well, it depends on the culture. In some cultures, yes. In some cultures, yes, it is a crime. And you lose your black card, you get called an Uncle Tom, amongst other things. So yeah, it's rough out here. The lawsuit spans 11 legal claims, from assault and trafficking to false imprisonment and stalking. Pescado is seeking a jury trial for comprehensive damages, economic, punitive, emotional distress, as well as recognition of hostile work environment. There's too much of this crap of who's being picked on the most. We are all human, period. Thank you to Amy for the insight. Shout out to Les Cleaver. It's too much, y'all. I'm gonna let you guys go free. I think that's enough debauchery for today. Thank you so much to all 3,400 of you that liked the video. Wow. And I want to give a special shout out to everyone who contributed and went the extra step and sent in super chats as well. Big shout out to CPE over on Cash App. Shout out to Les Cleaver in here, Slim Life New Jersey, Kara Hampton. Oh, Paua Eyes, I missed one. With the 5 bomb says, happy Friday. Thanks to ClassE and Amy for running this channel and having such an amazing group of peeps. Hey, y'all make it amazing. The best. Thank you, Paul Eyes. And I apologize for missing that. We had Slim Life New Jersey in here. Shine on You Crazy. Diamond is in the building. My guy, Will Wallace, major sponsor of today's show, dropping the 50 bomb. And then, of course, y'all know my awesome, amazing Amy was over there as well, gifting y'all some memberships and showing love. All right, we're going to be back here on Monday. You guys know, just because we are not live doesn't mean we're not dropping content. So make sure, if you haven't yet subscribed, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time that we drop that we drop content here on the channel or go live, because we will be going live later tonight as well. Hope you guys have a great afternoon. Have a great weekend. Shout out to Amy with the cake up in here. Trying to catch me lacking, thought I was gonna miss it. Nope, I never miss Amy's cake. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a great rest of your afternoon, great weekend. As always, you know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace. Y'all are amazing.